Hi guys, and welcome to Unreal Engine landscape tutorial. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys how I put this together, the sky, the grass, and the mountains or the rocks that you guys are looking at. So I'm going to show you guys how it's put together with a beautiful lighting or with a beautiful sky. So let's go straight into Unreal Engine development environment. Hi guys, and welcome to early asset tutorial of a grassy landscape. I'm going to start by clicking on blank and make sure you have a blueprint here, except if you intend to be working on C++. We'll be getting to that very soon. And I'm going to then give my project a name. There. The target platform is a desktop and the quality is preset maximum. So starter content, and make sure that is checked because I'm going to be using some of this starter content. I'm going to now click on create. Make sure your project do have a name. Click on create, and there we go. My project interface is ready, and now I have an indicator here asking me to update or not. So I'm just going to click on update and just get that out of the way. Okay, now that the development environment is ready, I'm going to go straight into content drawer, or you can always hold on to your control and press the space key, and that will bring up your content drawer. And right here inside the content I have the starter content, and right inside the starter content is the map where I have all of my components. This is the starter map, which you guys should see, and the default, this is it right here, mini default. Okay, with the mini default I'm not going to be using that, so I'm going to right click in here and create a new one entirely. I'm going to call it grassy landscape. I'm going to call it my m_grassy landscape. And there, let's double click on my grassy landscape and save that. There we go. As you can see, the whole environment is dark. There's nothing happening. Okay, you can always click on the shift key that is right above the control key on your keyboard. Shift key plus 2 or shift key plus 1, but this is the one I intend to use, which is shift key and 2 plus 2. There, that should open up a green grid. That very green grid you're looking at, that is your landscape. Hold on to your middle mouse and just drag it down. There we go, right there. Now the next thing is you automatically end up with the landscape properties right here. Okay. So what I will advise you to do is, you see where we have enable edit layer, make sure you click on that. Okay, and with all of these settings there, I'm going to leave this default setting, but if you want to know more about the size of the landscape, you can always read up on that on the document online for landscape. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it as just leave the default there. So all I'm going to now do is I'm going to click on create right here. Click on create. There, my landscape is created, but we can't see a thing because we're lacking directional light and so on. So I'm going to now press shift key plus 1. Okay, and that brings me here. Now let's go to create. You see create here, click on create, and we see lights. What we need from here is the directional light. That is it right there. Grab the directional light and drop it right here. You see that? All of a sudden our landscape appears. Now that we have the directional light in place, the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to create right here, drop it down, and let's go to visual effects. Inside the visual effect, I want to bring in my sky and atmosphere and dump it right there. Now that we have the sky atmosphere in place, the next thing we want to do is select the directional light, and let's come straight to the world outliner, more or less the properties right there, and let's scroll right down. We need to, let's go to the transform. There we go. See the transform here? Okay, instead of first stationary, we want to change that to movable. Okay, and the other property that we need to change is going to be the atmosphere and cloud. So let's look for that somewhere. Atmosphere and cloud, keep coming, should be there somewhere. There we go. That is it right there, the atmosphere and cloud. Okay, you see where we have atmosphere sun, atmosphere sunlight. Look at it, atmosphere sunlight. I'm going to make sure that is checked. As soon as I check that, we should be able to see our sky. So click on check. There we go. Okay, the next thing is, let's go back to shape again. We'll go back to create, and let's grab skylight. Just drop that right there. There we go. Okay, with the skylight selected, I'm going to scroll down here. Let's go to transform. Yeah, and just move it from stationary straight to movable. And I will also ensure that rich time capture right here is enabled there. Okay, there's one other thing that I need to do. You see, with the sky atmosphere, make sure that is movable as well. I think the default happens to be movable on that. So let's come back here to my skylight. With the skylights, one advantage of the skylight is, let's say I select the directional light and I want to just sort of like move it down. Let's see what's going to happen. You can see it is getting dark. Okay, look at that. See that? That is one of the advantages of having the skylight on your screen. So let's take it back. Okay, now that that is taken care of, there's something I'd like to point out. You see, if you look towards the horizon, you will see sort of like a black line there, okay, drawn horizontally across. Okay, I believe you guys should be able to see that. Okay, let's come in a little bit. There, look at the lines. Okay, to take care of those lines, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply fog in there. Let's go to visual effect, and we have exponential high fog. Click on that there. Okay, sometimes if your exponential high fog does not take care of that, all you need to do is you go straight to show, and inside the show, make sure the fog is checked. If I uncheck it, you see that because it's unchecked, you can see that line. So I'm going to make sure it is checked there. That is one trick that you guys should know of. Now the next thing is, I'm going to go back here, still on light or lightings. I'm going to go back in here. Let's go back to create, and inside the create, I'm going to go back into the visual effect. I now want to select volumetry cloud. I want you guys to take a good look at the way my screen is looking now. But before I select the volumetry cloud, there's something that you guys should know. You see, on your keyboard, if you hold on to your control and press L, control L, you should be able to control your sunlight. You see that? Look at that. Okay, so that's one of the benefits of the Skylight, you're able to control that. Now back into the create menu here, and I'm going to go straight into visual effects. I will now select volumetry cloud and take note of my sky right now. Look at my sky. Now let's select volumetry cloud and see what's going to happen with volumetry cloud. There we go. We now have a beautiful sky out there. Now before I go any further, let's take care of one more thing. Let's add post-processing. I'm going to go back to create, visual effects, post-process volume, click, hold, and just dump it right there. Okay, with the post-processing selected, I now want to enhance some of the properties of the post-processing. I'm going to look for exposure. Let's come in here. There we go. That is the exposure. I want to set the minimum and the maximum. There we go. And right underneath here, we should be able to set the minimum brightness and the maximum brightness. Okay, I'm going to make that, there's 3 in there. Okay, that is fine. I'm going to change these to, let's say 0.3 as well, and this one should be 0.3 there. Okay, now that is done, I'm going to now go scroll right down and look for infinite. I want the lighting system to be used throughout my projects. You see, infinite, extend, unbound. I just don't want it just to take place in just one area. As soon as I check the infinite, extend, unbound, you see what happened. The whole screen seems white. Now let's do one more thing. You have to go back straight to the exposure. Let's go back in there and set just 2 more options in there. Now we have metering mode. Check the metering mode, and inside here, inside this arrow, drop it down. Auto exposure histogram, drop it down. Let's select manual. Once the manual is selected, the whole screen becomes dark. Now we want to use auto exposure. Okay, compensation. Select the auto exposure compensation, and I'm just going to make the value about 10. Press enter. Look at that. Okay, what's happening here now is you're now in control of the whole pictorial view of your project. That seems to be a little bit sharp. I'm going to make it about 9. Look at that. That looks like a cool day. Okay, now that that is taken care of, and I want to make sure that my lighting is set to lumen. So I'm going to go to edit right here, and you select project setting. Inside the project setting, let's type in lumen right there. There we go. It's very important to make sure the global element is set to lumen. Look at it right here. Dynamic global illumination method is set to lumen, and the reflection method is also set to lumen. Okay, make sure both are set to lumen. That is good. So I'm going to exit out of that. Okay guys, now let's move on. The next thing I want to do is to change the appearance of this our landscape. So I'm going to go straight into content drawer here, or you can just hold on to your control and press the space key. So click on that. Now let's click on add, this very one here. There. So what we need is this very dialog called add Quicksort content. Click on that. The system might ask you to log on. There we go. So I'm going to kind of like drag it so that you guys can see it properly. There we go. That is fine. That is fine. So the component that I'm going to be looking for, or the asset, I'm going to just type in moist grass, something like that. Let's click on that. So I'm going to just look around for one of the material I intend to use. This looks look a bit more. So the system is now asking me to sign in. I'm going to have to click on sign in, and let's click on Epic Games right there. I will then enter my details, and there we go, guys. So I'm going to click on download. Now it is downloading. Here you can see it's coming up, and right there. So let's click on add. There, I've just added that straight onto my content drawer here. If I click on that, I should be able to see the mossy grass. Look at it right there, and that is it. Now let me select my landscape, and right here I'm going to look for the landscape material. Let's scroll right down. There we go, landscape material. That is it right underneath here. Okay, I'm going to click on this drop down, and let's look for the mossy. There we go. I believe that is it. Yeah. Okay, as you can see it's kind of like it's not looking more like a grass. It looks a bit just like a carpet. Well, I'm going to change it though. So let's double click on it, and let's come right in here, and I am going to look for the let's look for the tilings. Drop this down. Inside the tilings we have it as 1. I'm going to reduce it. When I reduce it, that should be much better. So let's come in here, and in here the tiling x-axis, I'm going to make that about 0. Yeah, I will end up making it 0.03. I think that will be fine. So let's go back to our landscape. There we go. Look at how it's looking. It looks more natural. Okay, the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to click on the foliage here, and let's add some grass to it. And those are part of the grass that I actually uploaded from the Quicksort. You all know how to get to the Quicksort. You just need to do is just to click on add and click on Quicksort there, and you can then get hold of whatever asset you want. Okay, so one of the assets that I actually look for include the trees and some other ones that I've added onto my system now. So I'm going to exit out. You all get the whole idea anyway. So now to get those on board, we have to make sure we go straight into the, as you have, that is it, 3D plant. Okay, and just select it and take it from there. Whatever grass you would like to add straight onto your foliage, you can always just select it and just drag it on board, just like that, and that's it. So all you then need to do is to make sure it's all checked here. Let's get it checked. I'm just going to check those ones. So at the end of the day I will have a mixture, and you can see my brush size is 512. So let's just come in here and just add some grasses. You see that, guys? See that? So that's how you're going to add your grasses. It's not that difficult, right? So there is, you see that, guys? If you want, you can always increase the size of your brush. Let's see, let's make it 1,000 and see what's going to happen. 1,000. Look at it, 1,000. Seems a bit larger now. Okay, I'm just going to speed up that and get back to you guys. So let's just add more here. There we go. Alright guys, that's how it's looking now. So one other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of here, and let's go back to the Quicksort again. Let's add rocks. So I'm going to search for rocks and just add that on board. Let's see if we can get hold of any. Yes, we seems to have a lot of rocky assets here, so let's just get hold of some, and we'll take it from there. Let's see, maybe we can get this. Yeah, we can. And let's download it. It's now downloading. Almost there. There we go. I'm going to add that straight onto my system. I've clicked on add. Let's see if we can get one or two more, and just take it from there. Anyway, we can get this as well. I think we can. Let's download this as well, and I'm going to add that. Right, it's added. Okay, is there any other one that might look promising there? Okay, let's grab this, add, and click on add. There we go. Alright, let's go back to my content drawer and let's look for the rocks. I think this might be one. Yeah, there we go. That is it right there. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Just get hold of that. Let's just dump it somewhere. We may have to increase the size. So I'm going to use the scaler to do that. So that is it right there. You can just press R to grab a hold of it, and let's just increase it a little bit. There we go. So let's just do it this way. There. And I'm going to push it down just a little bit. Rotate it. Okay. Alright, that is fine. So I can just copy these across anyway. Just select this and hold on to the Alt key, click and drag. And that is it, guys. And that's how you create your own landscape, or you can call it terrain if you want, in Unreal Engine. So with that, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial, guys. I suppose you enjoyed, and please look forward to more Unreal Engine tutorial. Thank you, and bye for now.